right, so I just wanted to come on here and touch base about my Olympia weekend experience and kind of give some insight. I've been offline with social media, especially because I traveled to Abu Dhabi the week before. I was at the UFC fight, and I just wanted to come on and give my feedback a little bit on the weekend and my thoughts, being a former Mr. Olympia and also being the ambassador of this year's Mr. Olympia, and kind of give my whole take on the whole weekend. So the press conference kicked off on Thursday, which was opened by myself, just basically inviting the fans to enjoy the experience and kind of take the whole process in. And I mentioned in that speech that 20 years ago, I landed in Las Vegas with a huge dream to be the best bodybuilder in the world. I competed at the 99 Olympia, which was at Mandalay Bay. And I actually got killed in that show. I landed 15 out of 16. So when I was watching the show last night, I was watching the guys who were in the back end. And listen, I'm one of these few Mr. Olympias that can experience both sides of winning and being like last in the show. And that's why I think they chose me as being the ambassador this year, as someone who's kind of been through the experience. I've been through the low side, I've been through the high side, I've lost the title, I gained it back. And I know what everything feels like when you don't, get the fair shake that you feel at the hard work, because there's not anyone in that show that didn't work extremely hard. Everyone worked pretty much the same. People say they outwork each other, but they all died and they trained and they went through obstacles in order to get there. Some through injuries and other, family issues, whatever it may be. But as we know, bodybuilding is a very, very subjective thing. And I landed back, like I said, in 99, my first Olympia. I placed second for the first time in 2001. And then, really everyone knows my track record where I won so many Mr. Olympias. But what I think is really cool about last night is we had a vacated crown from Sean Roden the year prior. He could not compete, so the title was up for grabs. And this is the men's open. We had a newcomer to the title now, Brandon Curry, who this is his first victory. But I've known Brandon from way back, and let me tell you, like, when he gave his speech up there last night and he won, it really touched me. It actually brought tears to my eyes a little bit because, he mentioned how Brandy, his wife, who was actually the first bikini model search winner for the Olympia, she was so supportive and said, listen, go to Kuwait and train and leave the family because this is your goal, this is what you want to do. And she talked about like them in high school and how she was the one that kind of pushed him to be a bodybuilder because he had the genes for it. And it's a pretty incredible story. I thought Brandon looked great. When I watched the show, I was kind of looking, my eyes were rolling over to, mainly focus on Hadi Choopan, who was the first time I seen him compete. Very, very impressive. And I know a lot of people thought he could have won the show or should have, but, Bonnick was second. William Bonnick was second. He was amazing too. And I don't know how he's looked to years past because he looks tremendous at every show he's done. And the last few years at the Olympia, as you know, he battled Brandon at the Arnold. He was fourth last year at the Olympia. Then he's been a third before. He won the Arnold Classic. He lost to Brandon earlier in the season. It was very, very close. I heard, it could have gone either way at both morning and night shows. But Bonnick put on a respectable showing, man. And Hadi's the new guy coming in. Needs to make a few more improvements, I think. And, I was very happy for all those guys. I really didn't give Bonnick probably the credit leading up to the show, him being, one of the top runners for quite some time. I mentioned Rowley and I mentioned, Brandon as being possible victors there. And I did mention that Hadi could be in the top three, but, I have to give credit where credit's due, and that's to William Bonnick because, even with all the drama with him, changing coaches and expectations for him were like, oh, is he going to be able to come in shape? And he brought it, he had some really knockout shots, especially from the back, like his hamstrings and his back poses, he really held it together, and that's where he kind of rolled up the second place finish instead of a third or a fourth. But Brandon just had a more overall size. I mean, if you really want the complete package, I think Brandon still has things he could work on, but who doesn't, right? I mean, even when I won the Mr. Olympia, I still had loopholes in my physique that I felt I needed to improve, and hence that's why I continue to compete, because we all challenge every year to do different things. But Dexter rolled into fourth. He looked amazing. People talk about his age, but let's just be real. I mean, 29 victories and all shows since '99 competing as a pro. This was his 20th Mr. Olympia. I was on stage with him the first time in '99, and he beat me at that show. He was actually in the top 10. I was not. So he looked really, really great. I thought that was well deserved. I thought after prejudging he was going to be actually pushed to fifth, but Rolly didn't come in as expected, and he ended up in the fifth spot, which Rolly just needs to be tighter, man. And I talked to him, and I had him as my pick to win the show prior. I actually laid it out there like, okay, he's going to be my solid, because it was between him and Brandon. And I thought, okay, Rolly's just bigger, and if he comes in shape, and he's been third before, and Brandon was he was fifth last year, and Rolly was third. I thought on paper, we would have him as a victor, just by the kind of the placings that have been done lately, because the Arnold Classic doesn't necessarily mean that you actually win the Mr. Olympia, as I know, because I experienced that years, even though I was winning. Ronnie wasn't there. But he looked like he could be sharper. And then Steve Kuklo, I think, was sixth, because he was in the first call, and I was in touch with Steve prior to the show, and I was rooting for him because we've had a long relationship going back. He looked great. Just needs more detail. Steve, if friends of Steve are on here, I'm like a number one fan of so many of these guys. There's so many guys I support in this. I'm just kind of honing in on the top six or whatever. But even Juan Morel, he looked great. He could still get better. He competed a lot this year. And he we stay in touch, and I was really excited to see him leading up to the show. But I have to say I was most excited about seeing Hadi Choopan, because I wasn't sure how he was going to look stacked next to these guys. And I want to mention, I went on RX Muscle, and I mentioned Flex Lewis and how he would fare. Damn, Flex Lewis would have done some Flex Lewis could have won this show. Flex Lewis could have won this show last night. And I know a lot of people, went a little sideways. I know Flex, got some different messages about, oh, Jay doesn't think you can beat Hadi and this and that. The truth is I know he would have challenged Flex in the 212, but Flex has better shape than almost anyone out there. And I think once we see Hadi and Flex push their physiques to the next level, it's really going to showcase how great Flex really is, because now he doesn't have to resist himself in the 212. And I did get to see him for a moment backstage. We do have a video of him and Kamal, actually, who won the 212, which I can't wait to air out. But, I didn't want to get into asking Flex, what are you going to do with the Open and this and that. But Flex Lewis he comes back to this Open show next year with the kind of shape that I know Flex can get in. He's going to be very, very dangerous to that title. And before last night, I wasn't sure how a shorter guy would stack up against the top guys, but it's coming into a phase now, guys. There's no dominant guy that's gonna hold these guys back. I think Brandon could really improve still, but Flex is still young enough where he can really, really do some damage. I'm disappointed he wasn't in the show. I mean, he really didn't need the year off unless there was just some stuff he was dealing with his body or whatever to help it recover. But Flex Lewis would have done some serious damage in this contest last night. Definitely would have been in the top three for sure. And possibly have won it, I think. So I'm excited for 2020 for certain. And then, the rest is, there was a couple guys in there. I mean, I looked at some of the back end guys too. I mean, Patrick Moore looked amazing. I liked Michael Lockett. Michael, keep going, man. Don't give up, because you looked great out there. I know he was a little frustrated. I'd been there, Mike. I should probably reach out to him and try to give him some motivation a little bit, because I've been in that position before. I know how it feels, and not to get the right calls and wonder, what it's going to take. But it's just the consistency that you need to do. Keem Williams, you looked great too, bro. And I know I'm forgetting some of these guys. There's a few other guys that I did get to see that I really liked. A couple newcomers. But mainly, Cedric, if Cedric put it together, he'd be a super dangerous guy out there. But I want to just talk about the expo and the experience with the expo and the fans, because we had a booth there for the first time. I mean, I took control of my supplement brand, over a year now. I started about 5 months ago. And we had our booth there that Angie ran with all the girls, and you know, it was amazing. We had a DJ there, and we had great help from a couple guys, a couple friends, and you know, Drew Nolan, you were out there helping me, and I just want to thank all you guys for the opportunity, all the fans that lined up and waited hours on end to see me. That was amazing, and you know, I look forward to the next one. And everyone asked me, how do you stand there for so long? I was there 10 to 5 each day, and I didn't stop. So I do that because I love the fans. And a lot of people ask me, do I miss being up there? And I truthfully don't. And mainly the reason is because you see right there, I have 4 of those bad boys, okay? And a whole lot of medals, by the way, as you can see on this wall. And I'm getting ready to do, I'm actually doing a documentary interview here shortly. So I'm actually just wanted to come on here. I don't usually get on live feeds, but I just wanted to thank all the great fans that came out to Las Vegas. If you didn't get a chance to meet me, I'm sure we will at some expo, because I'm at a lot. I'm already booking into next year, and I still have a lot of events coming up. And I will mention right now, so I'm off next weekend, and then I'm in Long Island area in Patchogue on the I believe it's the 26th or 28th of September, whatever that Saturday is. I'm there for the Energy Bar appearance. October 6th, I'll be in Wisconsin for the Wisconsin show out there. October 12th and 13th, I'm at the Fit Expo San Diego. So you people out in San Diego, I'll be there present. The 19th weekend, I will be in Michigan for the Central States. And then I'm finishing off October at the New England Bodybuilding Championships out in Massachusetts. And also, it's supposed to be Jose Raymond's gym opening the next day. I believe it's in Woburn or somewhere where his gym's opening up. So, or Medford, somewhere around there. So I'll be out for his gym appearance. And then I'll be in California for the Legion show. Where's that happening? Where's the Legion show?
Long Beach.
Long Beach. It's in Long Beach on the first week of November. And then after that, I don't know what I got really going on. I don't know if I have anything booked other than I'll do a Scandinavia tour the first week of December. So I'll be in Scandinavia the first week of December, probably doing a tour and doing the expo out there. So 212s, I mean, I know people are asking me about Derek Lunsford. He wasn't on his absolute A game. I did get to sit down and speak to him backstage. Huge potential for him. Kamal killed it. You know, vacated title again in that category. Flex had stepped out. So, you know, that was a great showing for Kamal. Not so much for Derek. I mean, I know he wanted it badly. I know he's going to be back because he has the potential to be the best in the world. He's going to win it eventually. There's no question. He's still a young guy. Someone to mention Ryan Terry on here. Ryan's awesome. I did travel with him in India. I was actually surprised in the men's physique. I didn't see the prejudging. I see that Brandon placed, I think, 4th in that show, and we had some newcomers slide in the top spots. But I kind of knew Raymond was going to be the champ. I mean, I saw him compete in Pittsburgh. He looked amazing. And I don't follow that division as close. I'm sorry, guys. I have nothing against men's physique or even classic, but I just don't, I can't keep up with a lot of these things other than what I follow. Because I'm more friendly with more of the bodybuilding guys, because that's what's apparent in more of the events that I go to. But Bumstead, happy for him. Breon, he looked amazing. You know, I was looking last night and I was trying to figure out why Breon lost, but I wasn't at the prejudging, and 2 shows kind of tell that. I'm very happy for Chris, though. I like both those guys, and Breon, I know, was really looking for that 3rd win. But listen, character shows when you can come back after losing it and win the title back. So this sets up really great, a great battle for 2020. I mean, even in the women's bikini, I know Angelica lost her title, and I think, you know, she held the title for 2 or 3 years. I think 3 times. So for her to lose, and the girl from Brazil, Isa, come in and win that. I thought that was amazing. Laura Lee's been on our channel a lot. You know, we were favored towards her some too. She didn't fare as well. Mark Anthony's girlfriend, Jen, you know, she finished 5th. We were rooting for her. So a little toss up in that division too. But like I said, I don't follow that as close as I probably should. I did follow it leading up to the show some. I knew kind of who the front runners were, but a lot of titles changed hands at this show, if not, most of them actually. And I'm excited to see the women's back on stage next year, the Miss Olympia. I think that's awesome what Wings of Strength and Jake Wood's doing. Trifecta, you guys did an amazing job with the sponsorship and promoting the shows. We had more influencers than we ever had there. With booths at the show, that arena was packed last night, guys. That was the most packed I've ever seen that place, and it was exciting to be a part of it. I sat right in the front row. I posted a little bit on my feed, but like I said, I've been a little absent from social, and the reason is I'm not super eager lately to put out a lot of social media that really doesn't mean as much. That's why I wanted to come on here and thank everyone, because I get messages every day, and you guys know I do answer a lot of my DMs that are reasonable, and I try to respond to everyone through all my social channels. But our YouTube's absolutely crushing it. We're filming actually today for Jay Cutler TV. We broke 300,000 subscribers this weekend, which is a huge milestone for us. So if you guys aren't subscribed to the JTV channel on YouTube, it's Jay Cutler TV. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'm putting out content almost daily on that, not just myself, but some of these other guys. We're shooting Lucas actually tomorrow, and we got a lot of great interviews with a few of the guys. Steve Kuklo.
Kamal is up.
Kamal's up now.
This morning,
okay,
yeah.
So Kamal's interview last night backstage is
check
on
it
there.
out. Yeah.
Very, very sincere guy. But listen, I just want to come around here and say congratulations to the new Mr. Olympia, Brandon Curry. You're the man. You're the man now. I told him, I said, I know how it feels. And, now the question is, what's next? What's next? What are you guys doing? Hopefully he gets to spend some time with his family now. I know he's probably going to lay down a little bit and just kind of take it all in and not travel as much right now. But I just wanted to also thank the great fans for coming from all over the world and taking time to spend with me as I was crazy at that expo, man. So I love you guys so much, man, and keep following my stuff, and make sure you guys send me a message if there's anything special. Get on my Jmail list too, guys. I have my free Jmail newsletter. It's a quick link in this Instagram bio. It's absolutely free. I send out tips every day. Guys, if you want to comment this live, we'll sit on here for 24 hours. Please comment and tell me how the Jmail's helped you, because it's a huge success, and I'm really glad it's been a year now since basically I launched that Jmail, and it's a lot of work, but I do it for the fans because I love you guys, and I want to teach everyone the proper way to stay safe, but more importantly to continue to train, because that's what we love to do, right? So that's it. That's all I wanted to get on to say, and I wanted to do kind of the right thing and just talk about the show a little bit and my thoughts on it, because I know people like to think, what did Jay think about, the new, people are talking about like guys, this guy's out of shape and that guy, but listen, man, a lot of obstacles to get there, a lot of obstacles. I mean, I look around this room, and I see all different physiques that I brought to the Olympia stage. You see me and Ronnie over there, that was on the Times Square, but wall. You see all these Flex magazines. You can see some of my contest pictures there on stage, man. It's just huge. I mean, huge achievement. The Arnold trophies. And I look back now at this wall, and I look at this. Sean Ray gave me this Olympia sign. He took it from some street, as you can see. But that's my first victory right there. That is my first Sandow trophy. And the Sandow's a lot damn bigger now. So I wish I had one of the new ones. All right, so I love you guys, man. Congratulations to all the competitors, every division. Sorry if I didn't answer some of your questions. I see Hadi Chupan fans on here. Fucking amazing. He looked great, and I did congratulate him backstage. We got a picture together. Hopefully I'll be able to post that at some time. But he was impressive, and he did not disappoint. But let's give due to Brandon Curry, because he's the man right now. And shout out to Tamer, shout out to Dan Solomon, shout out to the whole Olympia staff that made this show a huge success. The production was absolutely awesome. I was very, very honored to be part of it. Shout out to all the trade show people, all the behind the scenes people that made the Olympia, and most importantly, the sponsorship that made the show continue to be a huge success, and the great fans that attended. It was the best-selling, I think, Olympia, where they talked about ticket sales. Man, it was just, the place was packed last night. So you guys are the best. Thank you. Watch online, check out some of the reviews, and give your insight a little bit. And make sure you guys follow along. We'll see you soon. Okay, love you guys.